Hello and welcome to Frontrunner Motorsport, and if you are watching this video then you are a paying fromy, so thank you very much for supporting me and the future of this channel. I have done a few members only videos, so make sure you check them all out. Today we are looking at the very first International F3000 Championship from 1985, known for the only time as the European Formula 3000 Championship. This replaced the old European Formula 2 series and would run until 2004, when it was replaced by GP2, which was eventually replaced with the current Formula 2 series. We'll be looking at every car on the 1985 grid and rating based on how good looking they are, with S of course being the best and F being the worst. And with the 80s being known for style, expect a lot of S-grade liveries. So sit back, relax and enjoy this look at all the classic liveries from the 1985 European Formula 3000 Championship. And again, thank you for supporting the channel. Genoa Racing. This small Italian outfit only ran one car for Yvonne Capelli at a few races at the end of the year. Capelli would take a win at the Oostenrijkring, and that may have been the reason he arrived in Formula 1 shortly after. He did so also having a big crash at Vallelunga, but he put in some decent performances for the small Italian team. The livery, mind you, is dreadful, just a plain white car with very strange looking numbers on the side. They look like the numbers from a broken calculator. Even sponsorship from auto air conditioning brand Diavia does not save this livery from being an F. Roger Kalman Racing. Slim Borgard would race the only Arrow chassis in the field at 5 races for the Roger Kalman owned team. The car may have looked like a nice lolly, but it was as slow as one also. The toffee yellow colour is a bizarre choice for a race car, more suited to the couch in a 1960s pornographer's front room. I don't know who Rose of Watford was, but she must have been doing good business for it to be worth a sponsorship deal. Slim Borgard sadly passed away last year, a talented race driver in touring cars and trucks, and at the point of joining this championship had already raced in Formula 1 with ATS and Tyrrell. This livery is terrible though, but I'll give it an E, just because I've never seen such a colour on a single seater, and the sponsor is at least funny. Eddie Jordan Racing, a successful team by the late 80s with Jean Alesi winning the title for them in 1989, and they had their moments in Formula 1. This first single car effort for Belgium driver Thierry Tassin was a little more rinky-dink. This is the only picture I can find. D. Ekstrom Racing. This Swedish team ran American Eddie Lang in 2 races. Unsurprisingly, I can't find a single picture of their car, although the sketches of their proposed Formula 1 entry exist. A for ambition. Corbari Italia. With nephew of one of the all-time greats, Juan Manuel Fangio II, in your team, you'd think they'd have an exciting livery, but it's just white. Max Buslinger, Mario Heiton, and Alain Ferté all had similarly plain liveries. Lamberto Leone brought some red with sponsors Armati, but it's too little too late and it's an F, just for the sheer lack of effort on display. Baron Racing. Finally some decent liveries. Whilst some of their early season liveries were pretty barren, dark blue with lighter blue stripes, it looks very professional. Chevy's cars only appeared at a handful of races, with Claudio Langs, Roberto Moreno and Adrian Campos all getting a chance in Formula 1. First actually nice livery on the grid, only a B, but in this company that's something special. PMC Motorsport. Running a couple of old Williams chassis for our returning friend Thierry Tassin, who started the season with PMC, and later Lamberto Leone, who finished his season with Corbari Italia. I can't work out if the sponsor is Debic or Debbie. That's surely not good for the brand that have paid to have their names slapped on the side. Otherwise, this is a simple livery, white with dark blue. It's okay, but they only had it for 2 races. When Leone came into the team, he basically had the same livery as he would later have at Corbari Italia, and that and the poor sponsorship decals on Tassin's car dragged PMC to a D. Lola Motorsport. The Lola Works team for 1985 had quite a few different drivers, but only 1 car at each race except the last when there were 2. Whilst I can find pictures for a few of their drivers, I can't find one for every Lola driver, so we are only presuming all their cars look the same. A very nice shade of red with Lola in very small letters, barely visible. Not the height of design exactly, but it's not terrible. C. Sanremo Racing. My boy Gabriele Tarquini was racing for Sanremo in 1985, so it's an S. Next team. No, alright. Tarquini had a very 80s shade of blue on his car, very much of the era it raced. It's pretty good to be fair. I can't find a colour photo of the 14 or 33 cars, so I'm going to have to presume they look the same, and I'm going to give this team a B for their livery. Onyx. The future Formula 1 team were one of the more professional International F3000 teams of the time. Emmanuel Pirro had the classic Marlboro livery on his car, recognisable for most older motorsport fans. It's an A because it is an all-time classic, but one we saw way too much. Pirro took 2 wins and finished 3rd overall. The other Onyx car wasn't as successful. In this incredibly 80s Onyx livery, white and green, it's pretty neat and worthy of a C. Mario Heiten took the car over later for the second half of the season, and he had this little number with the very bright green front and rear wings. It stood out more than his performances, bar a second place at Donington Park. It's also a C, because at least it's something. BS Automotive. Championship winner Christian Danner also had a plain white car for BS Automotive, and it's another boring white car. So occasionally it had stripes. E. The sister car was blue and in the hands of Thomas Kaiser, Philippe Alliot and Jean-Philippe Grand. Was a little better, but again, it's just a single colour car. C, because it's better than all the plain white cars. AGS. The Gatan-sponsored AGS of Philippe Streif is the class of the field in terms of liveries. With the Ligier-style colours, it's very French, it has the nostalgia factor, and it is a good-looking livery. In this field of duds, it's a standout S-grade livery. Equipe Oreca. Michael Furte had the same Marlboro livery as Emmanuel Pirro, and of course it's still an A. Olivier Grouillard, Pascal Fabre, and Pierre Chauvert ran the car in this rather strange orange colour that looks a bit like an early Arrows F1 car. I can only find pictures from the front, so maybe it looks better from the sides, but I don't like it. It looks like it's had random splodges of paint poured on it, rather than being delicately applied. Maybe a D because at least it has some elements of design. Waltz Racing Ltd. There is something about this livery that looks so cheap, like something from a middle-of-the-road Formula 1 team from the 70s. It's not a particularly interesting pattern, the shade of red is dull to look at, and it is sparse with the sponsor logos. I do like the black stripe near the engine bay, it makes this livery a lot better than it otherwise would have been, but it's nothing special. C grade for Ralt. So they are all the liveries from the first International F3000 Championship in 1985, and what a drab field of cars. Most of them are just white. Few really stand out as miracles of design, and the ones that do are mimicking liveries you would see elsewhere. But we will come back to this series in the future because some of racing's best liveries come from the International F3000. I guess we just needed time to get some style going. Thank you for supporting the channel. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, including what classic livery reviews you would like to see in the future. Thanks again and have a good one.